Hi everyone, my name's Suzanne Moore and welcome to the Project Manager Clinic. I've got a lot of experience in project management, having worked in this area and business transformation for about 20 years now. I've worked across all sorts of projects, information technology, business projects, process, recovery, high-end, low-end, large, small, you name it, I've probably been there. My passion is project management and helping other project managers really achieve their goals. Follow me at the link in this slide here to my LinkedIn profile, or at the end of the slide set you can find my contact email. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, click on the subscribe button, thumbs up, and let's get going. So in each session of the clinic, we're going to look at particular issues, or what I'd like to call a symptom of why projects are often failing or why your projects are failing. So we'll give some examples of those symptoms and how you can apply a technique. Well, what is the best technique to apply? In my experience, I've found that it's so often many issues that make up a number of symptoms. Understanding what symptom you are trying to address is probably a key area that project managers get stumped on because they can't see the wood for the trees. We're going to go through those things and work through together to how to apply your project manager technique in the best way possible for your project. So some key subjects to come. These are ones that I have found over many years talking to many project managers, and I'm a bit stumped as to why we still have the same issues occurring, but we do, and so let's just get on and try and solve them. One of the key ones is that our suppliers are not providing the agreed outcomes. How do you get things moving? So we'll talk about those things. There's nothing worse than being held up by suppliers. Now, we all have the tools and the knowledge and the technique to get these things resolved, but how do we start? My project meetings don't get results with too much crosstalk, and we just don't seem to get anywhere. And this is really common, particularly when projects start to get into trouble. They hit a roadblock, and then again, everybody does a whole bunch of crosstalk, and you need to really get control of your project quick, smart. So this is another one of the issues or the symptoms we'll talk about. I have so many issues, I just don't know where to start. Again, really common. I find that a lot of project managers, in theory, understand risk and issues management, but so often get them confused and don't understand how to resolve issues, how to even identify issues, how to understand that this is an issue that needs resolving, or in fact it's not, it's just a complication. So we'll devote a whole session throughout this series just on understanding issues. Why is my project always over budget? It shouldn't be over budget, and I know that in many recruitment meetings that I've had where I've been interviewed, one of the key recruiter questions is, did you ever have a project that wasn't on budget? We will know as project managers that mostly we don't have projects that are on budget, but we do have the mechanisms to control that budget, that spending. So change management, it really, I believe, affords us the ability to say we have been on budget and we have delivered. My project stalled. How do I restart things on a better footing? Again, this starts to happen when projects start to go off the wire. We can get it back on track. We just need to know how to do it. Remember, subscribe now by hitting the thumbs up below. A little bit about the format of the first series, which is called the Masters. In this first series, we're going to explore the project symptom in detail, offering an actual application of the theory or the technique. How do you resolve this situation that you found yourself in? What's the specific symptom or project issue? And as I said before, sometimes these are numerous, so don't be too hard on yourself. You may not have one issue, you may have a number of them. In many cases, The technique to resolve the symptoms may include several project management dimensions, such as scope management, financial management, or stakeholder management. And in some cases, we have to pull a whole bunch of other techniques into our project in order to get it resolved. To my mind, the key thing about project management, those two words, is management. We are managing a project. Each episode of the Master Series will include a discussion with an industry-regarded, experienced Master Project Manager who will present their views on the application of technique from their experience. Each episode will include a discussion on contemporary business transformation and organisational practices and how these may impact projects. You would be surprised probably how the broader organisational structure, what's going on in your organisation, will impact your project. It can even go further than that and be impacted by societal changes. So these are things that we'll discuss in more detail. Each session will talk about a contemporary issue, not necessarily related specifically to project management, but you will notice how it is related once we've talked about it. These discussions will not be restricted to project management, and they may look at that broader landscape of organisational and societal changes, which is what I talked about a little while ago. Examples will include, are you still using projects as a change catalyst and wondering why things go wrong? This happens again and again and used to be something very, very common in information technology projects probably 15 or 20 years ago, when the IT project would just bulldoze through and then people wondered why they didn't work. Is it them or is it me? How a bad support or organisational structure can limit project success. What are we going to do about it? Let's talk about it and come up with some solutions. Is project management being seen as a commodity, and are the right skill sets being attributed to the discipline? This is one of my favourites, and I seem to see it again and again with recruiters or recruiting managers asking for skill sets for project managers, which is really a management discipline, that are far too technical. So let's talk about those subjects and see if we can get some understanding and get things right and on the right track. If you'd like to contact me or you'd like any more information about any of the topics that I've talked about today just in this introductory session, you can contact me with the details on the following slide. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn and I'd be really thrilled to talk to you. Other areas of my consulting are around project action planning. If you've got a project manager in your organisation and they need to get that project back on track, then that's something that I've helped with many, many times successfully. Program and project management reviews and assessments, training and facilitation, and developing specialist skills and workshops to help your project managers, your stakeholders, and your sponsors deliver really good, fun, successful projects. Thanks again for joining me on this first introduction to the sessions and the series. Here's my contact details on this page. Email suzannemore@pmclinic.com.au, or as I said before, contact me via LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for the next episode.